Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize for having to miss the testimony of some of you, and I appreciate you coming today. Professor Franks, let me ask you, I listened to your and Ms. Hemingway's testimony and Professor Turley's, so I got part of it. As I understand it, your position, Professor Franks, is that I think you used the word myth. It is a myth that the Biden administration used government to compel speech, private speech, but that the Trump administration is doing that. Is that a fair characterization?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Do you think perhaps you're allowing your personal political beliefs to affect your objectivity here?
No, I do not. What is guiding my answers here is that I'm looking to see what the Supreme Court has said. You notice that in the testimony about the censorship industrial complex.
I got that part.
No,
I just want to
clarify.
No, but I've only got 5 minutes. Your answer is no, I appreciate it. Let me ask you a couple questions. You wrote a law review article in December of 2023 for the New York University Law Review, and it was about the two cases, Bruin, Supreme Court case, and Dobbs. Remember that article?
Yes, I do.
Okay. In this article, you said, I'm going to quote your words, "Taken together, these two cases demonstrate that the Supreme Court has embraced the use of the Constitution as a tool of racial patriarchy," end quote. Did you say that?
Yes.
Okay. And then you went on to say, quote, "When the Supreme Court declares that there is a constitutional right to armed self-defense in public, it openly embraces and promotes a culture that privileges white men's ability to terrorize and kill those that they perceive as threats," close quote. Did I read that correctly?
I believe so. Thank you for reading.
Okay. And did you also say in that article, I'm going to quote again, quote, "by simultaneously expanding white men's right to kill and constricting women's right not to die, this Supreme Court," referring to the current United States Supreme Court, "has turned the Constitution into a homicide pact as well," close quote. Did you write that?
That sounds like me.
Okay. In November of 2024, you tweet, don't you?
I'm not sure what the current terminology is for it, but yes, I am sometimes on the social platform that was formerly known as Twitter.
Yeah, you're on a lot, aren't you?
I'm not sure what the relevance of that is.
You try to be provocative on there, don't you?
Again, I'm not sure what the relevance
Well,
of this question
let me
is.
show you the relevance. On November 7th, 2024, from your tweet, here's one of your tweets at 2:41 p.m., quote, "The majority of Americans hate women."
Wow.
"The majority of Americans hate women more than they love anything, including democracy," close quote. Did I read that correctly?
I am not sure what this has to do with the subject matter of this
Did you
hearing.
say it?
I do not have those words in front of me. I probably said something along those lines, but
Yeah,
what is
you
the
said it.
relevance
Here
of that
it
to
is,
this
big as
hearing?
Dallas, right there.
Yes.
But your political beliefs don't impact your feelings about President Biden or President Trump.
I don't have feelings about either of them. What I have
Sounds
is
to me
doctrine.
like your favorite feeling is anger. Let me ask you this. You issued another tweet. This was in May of 2022. You've just been tweeting up a storm. You said, quote, "There's a reason why the conservative-dominated Supreme Court thinks the Constitution does not contain a right to an abortion, but is convinced that it contains an individual right to possess firearms. And that reason is white male supremacy," close quote. Did I read that correctly?
Is there a question in this?
Did I read that correctly? That's
Is there
my
a question
question.
that is relevant to this hearing?
Did I
in
read
your
that
language?
correctly? Do you really think that the United States Supreme Court, you're an officer of the court, is guided by white male supremacy?
I believe that the First Amendment prohibits the president
Did you
and other
say
state
that?
officials for punishing people for
Did
their
you honestly say that, Professor?
I
And you
believe
expect us,
that the First
as a
Amendment,
Democratic witness, to take you seriously? Are you kidding me?
I believe that you should take the
You've
First
heard of
Amendment
curb your
seriously, sir.
enthusiasm? Here's my saying, curb my nausea.
I
Thank you.
believe that you should
The
take
time
the First
has
Amendment
expired. Thank
seriously.
you. Senator Durbin.
Wow, guys, this is brutal. Like, that is just what I would say. You know, sometimes we need to be mindful of what we put out there because it has a positive and negative impact on us. Okay? This is just a lady, you know, I know she might be an important lady, but this is her putting out her thoughts, you know. This is what she felt, or what she felt the world is, or the society is, or how she sees politics. You know, she based on what John Kennedy said. He said the tweets said she believed that majority of the people in the Senate are conservative, so that is why they're able to ban abortion and promote, you know, firearm. And I feel like there are things you don't just say out there, especially when it comes to politics. There are ways you put the word, you know, maybe allegedly. At least it's like you are just, it's not like you are not certain, you know, it's like it's alleged. But you putting things out there as if you are being serious about it or you believe what you're saying, it's going to come back and hurt you, especially when you are trying to pursue a political career. And this is American, whereby whatever you do, they will use it against you, no matter what you say. I think there was a certain time people were using Trump word against him, that he said something and about black, you know, when he entered, he's going to deport all the black. It almost cost him the election because people were afraid. The panic was just too much because the blacks in America were all afraid, or the illegal immigrants, they were all afraid that when Trump gets into power, like there will be a whole lot of deportation. And it's happening right now, but there are things you don't just say. Even if you want to do it, you can just keep it in your mind. But when you say it out, like it's going to make you or break you. And I think this is what this lady is facing, you know. It's whatever the man is saying might not be contrary to what she is there for. But he's just trying to, you know, get to the mind of the listeners, you know, let them know the kind of lady she is. And by doing this, like, he's indirectly tarnishing her image. That is what I see. And the lady gave him the opportunity to do this because you brought yourself out to the media. Like, based on the things you post, you're giving him now the upper hand to get back at you. That is why we all need to be mindful of what we are doing. That is why Charlie Kirk is like, every time Charlie Kirk is always criticizing people that owns, you know, OnlyFans page, trying to let them know that your children are going to see this when they grow up. So there are certain things you don't portray or you don't bring out. There are some lifestyle that are supposed to be for you and you alone. It's not supposed to be out there in the open. So that is just my lesson from this video. It's like whatever I do, whatever I say, I need to be mindful of it. This is, I would like to say the full, you know, session of this video because it's going to be crazy. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comment section. If it is the first time visiting the channel, click on the subscribe button. Thanks for watching and remember bless.